Hey guys, what is up? Parkmaster here. Today doing a bit of a different video. This video is going to be in response to the Brackeys 10-minute game challenge. This challenge is fairly self-explanatory. It's where I have to make a video game in, well, 10 minutes. I am a relatively new programmer, so I don't know exactly how this is going to turn out, but I really want to try it. I want to push myself, and I can't wait to see how this turns out. So here goes nothing. Alright guys, so the engine I'm going to be using to make this game is going to be the Unity game engine, just because that's what I know. So, here goes nothing, I guess. We're starting in 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, what is up? This is Parkmaster voiceover. So I was a little bit too in the zone to actually explain what was going on, so that's what I'm going to be doing here now. So essentially all I'm doing right now is getting a 2D object that I can lay all my behaviors on, and giving it the triangle look. I'm scaling it. That's really it here. So I'm making a new script, and this is going to allow the character to look at our mouse, so that we can shoot enemies later in the game. So that's going to be the main concept of this game. Is you look around with the mouse, you left click, you shoot, the enemies die. If you get touched by an enemy, it starts over. That's about it. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm setting up this looking at the mouse script. So first I'm setting the direction, and this direction is going to be from the mouse to the player. That's what that var direction, or var dir means. And then I'm making an angle from that direction using tangent, and if no trigonometry, I'm getting the slope based on the x and y coordinates of that. Or the x and y, whatever, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. And then that last line there is just me setting up the actual rotation, me actually rotating. So the second part here is me now setting up the shooting. So here I'm just saying, if input.getMouseDown, that just means if the mouse button was clicked, I want to instantiate or make a public game object, which I'm going to be calling just the bullet, and I'm going to be making it at a very specific point, which I just named the fire point. So what I could have done here, if I had more time, is I could have done something like a fire rate where I can, set it up, but because of my limited time, I just didn't. So it's just, you can shoot as fast as you can click. So right now I'm just setting up that point that I was talking about, that fire point where I'm going to be firing my bullets out of. So I just made a empty object, so it had nothing on it except a position. All right, here I'm making the bullet, I believe. Yeah. So I'm making the bullet, and I literally just, again, made a circle. And the only behavior on this, and this made life easy, is I just said move until you hit something, or move until a certain time. That's all the behavior that was required for the bullet. And that, because I felt actually really behind right here. As you can see, that last script, just getting to this first script took me about 3 minutes, and I saw this, was like, oh crap. But thank goodness this script basically took me, I think, less than a minute. And there I almost forgot to put that in, just if you hit anything, kill yourself. So destroy game object with a lowercase g, which is referring to this game object. And the reason I want this bullet to basically be destroyed after a certain time is because it can really lag and slow down a game if you just have these bullets going on at a distance forever. Because let's say you're amazing at this game that I made in 10 minutes, and you're going for, maybe you're going for 10 minutes. All of a sudden now you're going to have like a million bullets in the scene, and it could really slow down a game. So here I made a enemy script, and I didn't want anything special for the enemies because, again, 10 minutes. So the basic behavior here was, there's a player. You go to player. Good job. If you get touched by anything, you die. Because in the grand scheme of things, it's like, I don't care, because the way I have it set up is, great, the object that touches the player dies, but if anything touches the player handles the death script. So that's kind of how I handled that. Sorry for the low quality. Also, guys, I'm using mirrorless action, and it's been really bugging out recently, so maybe it won't be like this when I export it, but on my screen it's really, really blurry right now, so sorry about that. That mistake right there really scared me, actually, because I'm like, oh gosh, I'm already probably going to barely make it. Small mistakes like that are not going to help. And this part's just me saying, you touch something, you die. Right, the reason you're seeing me pause after every time I make a new script is because my computer's kind of slow. So Unity has to process it, and that really hurt me, actually, because I'm willing to maybe say there was 20-30 seconds of me just waiting on scripts and compiling stuff. Anyway, so what I did there was I turned them into prefabs so they won't change, and I could just call that one object over and over again because I want to make them infinitely. What am I doing here? Oh, right here. So I'm making the spawner so I can infinitely spawn enemies. And the way I'm doing this is really interesting, actually. So there's a neat thing in Unity where I can just look at the current time of play. So it'll count, I'm pretty sure how many seconds or whatever that the application's been running. So to create a spawn rate, what I'm essentially doing is saying, all right, well, set it to 0 so they spawn right away. And then once you've spawned them in, make this spawn variable, that variable there that says next spawn, if you can read that, I'm setting that equal to the current time plus my spawn rate, or 1 over my spawn rate. So essentially what's happening is, let's say it's 2 seconds pass, and my spawn rate is, let's say 2 per second, then I'm going to say, all right, so take it as 2 seconds, and then add it to 1 over 2. So now it's going to instantiate a new enemy at 2.5. So that's how this is working right now. And then the stuff above that instantiate method you're seeing there, that is me basically saying, Unity has this thing called, I can spawn things at a random point inside of a circle, but to make it not be anywhere in a circle, I only want it to be in the ring. I do something called normalize it, and that just means I only take into account direction and not magnitude. So the magnitude's going to be the same on all of them. And then this is me trying to make it more difficult, because when I was trying to think of this game, I'm like, well, if I make it too slow, it's just going to be boring. If I make it too fast, it's just going to feel bland. Like, it's just the same thing over and over. So I thought if I speed it up over time, maybe that'll do it. So in here I'm setting on finishing touches, like putting on colliders that I missed, putting on rigid bodies that I missed. And so the last thing I decided to add it in here was basically my quote-unquote death script, which is literally just, if you get touched, start the scene over. There's no text, there's no UI, because again, I was short on time. So I just took the current scene and was like, load it again. At this point I was really freaking out because I looked over at my phone and I saw that 45-second mark, and I was like, I'm not gonna make it. Oh, because I thought I still had one more thing to do, which is why you're kind of hearing me breathe so heavily because I'm so nervous. But I was like, wait a minute, there's nothing else to do, and I'm praying basically that this thing is gonna work. So I see them get destroyed, and I'm like, all right, that's working, and I'm praying that it restarts, and it does.
It.
And there's just this reaction.
Okay, stop time.
Right there. There's that delayed reaction of me just going, wait, it worked. Oh crap, it worked.
I'd want to change. Like at the moment, I could probably just do this and get away with it. But oh my gosh, I did it. It works. Everything I want to work works. Oh my gosh. Stop the timer. Right. Oh god. Of course, there's things that I want to tweak, and I want to add a fire rate as well, so I can't just, like, you know, just spawn like crazy and go all Rambo. But I think overall, for 10 minutes, I'm happy. Oh, how far can it go up? I really hope my spawn rate thing is doing its job. Oh no, okay. Well, there we go. Anyway, guys. Oh, I did it. That is the 10-minute game challenge, guys. Okay. Well, I actually had a lot of fun doing this challenge. It pushed me as a programmer to it pushed me to write messy code. That's what it did. No. What it really did though was push me to go outside what I'm comfortable with. It helped me grow. And I think that's really awesome. I really want to thank Brackeys for putting this challenge out to everybody, and I want to make sure that whoever is a game developer that hasn't done this, I highly recommend doing this. It is a blast, if not soul-crushing. But yeah, anyway, guys, I think that's it for now. I might actually flesh this game out more, but now that I have the recording of it, okay, good, it's recording. Ooh. I think that's where I'm going to end it here. Anyway, guys, I said what is up, now I'm shutting down. I had a lot of fun doing this. Peace out, guys.